Drip too hard, don't stand too close, you gon' fuck around and drown. Off this way, doing all these shows. I've been on the road, I don't care where I go, long as I get paid. Bad little fire, she been on my mind. Soon as I get back, she can stay. Do this all the time, this ain't no surprise. Every other night another movie get made. Drip too hard, don't stand too close, you gon' fuck around and drown. Off this way, doing all these shows. I've been on the road, I don't care where I go, long as I get paid. Bad little fire, she been on my mind. Soon as I get back, she can stay. Do this all the time, this ain't no surprise.
Hey guys, what's up? So I'm back with another video. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about clinical depression versus situational depression. So I'm going to start off by saying this, like, I am no expert in mental health. I don't study mental health. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm not an expert. You know, I don't know everything about mental health, but I have had a few mental health issues. I've dealt with depression all my life, basically. Before I even knew what it was, to be honest. I would sit in my room and cry all day, wishing that I had someone to talk to, wishing that I had friends. And maybe back in the day, I didn't know what it was. But now looking back on those days, I realized that, like, I was depressed. Obviously, it's gotten more severe throughout the years. So I will say, like, back in, like, 7th grade, I was bullied really, really badly. And I think, like, it also started because of that. I was like an outcast in school. I didn't have anyone or anything. And by the way, this video is not for anyone to feel sorry for me or to have pity on me or whatever. I'm not trying to, you know, do anything, gain pity, whatever from this video. I'm just, you know, letting my feelings out. You know, this is who I am. I like talking about serious topics that people don't like to talk about. Like, let's be honest. No one likes talking about depression, anxiety, you know, any of that serious stuff that people go through on a daily basis. No one likes talking about it. They just go about their day and leave it as that, which I don't like that. You know, we have to talk about these things, because if we don't talk about these things, you know, that so many of us deal with, it's like we're never going to, I don't know, but it's just, this society has to start talking about these kinds of topics, because if we don't start talking about it, then the generation that's to come, they're going to have to, you know, go through this, and it's not going to be good. So, sorry. My mind is, like, constantly, like, running at 100 miles an hour. So, yeah. So, yeah, I've dealt with, like, different forms of depression. And that's also what I want to talk about. So, there's different forms of depression. There is situational depression. Situational depression is where, like, something happens in your life that caused you to be depressed. Like, your family member passed away, your mom passed away, your dad, your uncle, your cousin, whoever it is passed away, or you lost your job. I don't know, anything, like, I don't know. That's situational depression. Like, situational depression, like, it didn't, like, you wasn't, like, it didn't happen, like, you didn't have it for your whole life. Like, it just happened out of nowhere. Now, clinical depression is different. Clinical depression, I don't know if I have. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I have this and that and this and that. Like, no. I don't know which type of depression I have, but I do know I have depression. And there's not anything that you guys can say to make me think otherwise, okay? Okay, me sitting, like, me crying for no reason, hours straight crying, just wishing that I was dead, wishing that I was somewhere else, wishing that all this pain would go away. You know, like, there is nothing you could say to me to make me think otherwise. Why, if I wasn't depressed, why would I be crying for no reason? Why would I feel this immense amount of sadness just appear out of nowhere? Why, if I wasn't depressed? So please don't try and tell me what I am and what I'm not on this video, because I know what I am and I know what I'm not. So let's just get that clear. Okay? That's for you haters. So yeah, clinical depression is like where you've had it your whole life. You know, you've gone through it, you know, your whole life basically. You got diagnosed with it, you know. And I'm not going to, like, honestly, I'm not going to say which one's more severe, because they both could be really severe, honestly. Like, situational depression, like, that could be, the severity of it can be really strong. You know, losing a loved one is very powerful, and it can affect anyone and make anyone spiral into a deep, dark depression that you cannot get out of. Clinical is, you know, some people say clinical is much worse because you have to deal with it your whole life. You have to be on medication, whatever for it. Like, you have to, you know, keep going to therapy, going to appointments, you know. Some people say that's worse. What do you guys think? Do you guys think clinical depression is worse or situational depression is worse? I say they're both worse. They're both really bad. You know, I'm trying to take the steps in the right direction to get better. You know, I really am trying. And just because you have depression doesn't mean that's who you are. You know, some people say, like, they have this title on them, like, oh, I have depression. Like, you know, it, like, I hate labels. That's one thing I hate. And honestly, I hate, like, putting myself in a bubble and saying I'm this and I'm that. You know, I hate doing that. I really do. Honestly, I really do. But, like, just because you have depression or whatever you're going through doesn't mean that that's who you are. That doesn't mean that it's going to define you. You could either let that be who you are, let it control you, because depression has controlled my life for far too long. Far too long. And I'm trying to regain my life back. I'm 20 years old, and I want to see what's outside of being so depressed, you know? Like, what's on the other side of that stormy, dark cloud? You know, and I feel like I'm never going to get past it if, like, I keep myself in this bubble. You know, like, you kind of have to go about your day, like, not really ignoring it, not ignoring the fact that you need help and you have depression and, you know, ways to cope with it and stuff like that. I'm not saying ignore it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you could either let that be who you are, let it take over your life, because it is very life-consuming. That's like, I don't even know if that's a word. Life-consuming. Not time-consuming, life-consuming. So, honestly, I'm in this battle alone. Like, I don't have anyone to help me. I don't have anyone near me. You know, I don't like talking about my problems a lot. The only time I talk about my problems is to you guys. I don't like talking to my problems to anyone else. I really don't. So, yeah, you could either let this define you or try your hardest to fight for a better life.
Gone on you with the pick and roll. Younger flame, he in sicko mode.